What is up, my friends, and how's it going? And welcome back to the 4th episode of our Let's Play live series as the Nervii with your fellow comrade Summary. Hello Adrian Tendeki, welcome to the live stream, glad to have you with us. And yes, as always, you are first. And yeah, previously we managed to push out the Lusitani in the south of Gallia. The Romans meanwhile have taken over pretty much most of the Iberian Peninsula, and the objective of this episode is to declare war against Massalia. They have conquered quite a fair bit of the Transalpine as well as the Cisalpine Gaul region, a little bit over here in Illyricum as well as Raetia et Noricum. However, meanwhile in the north we did fight a third war against the Caledonia, and we have managed to push them back all the way up to the north. They only have two regions left, Din Aden as well as Timere in Ireland. And we are in a pretty good and defensible position as of now. As far as economy is concerned, we are slowly increasing our economy, as can be seen over here. Gallia itself is making 23,000 denarii per turn. Meanwhile, Britannia itself is making 7,400 denarii per turn, but that will change very soon as you know, we keep improving the slaves as well as the other modifiers that help our economy. We do have 3 full stacks. We have Slugos 2 Remi. We have Slugos 1 Nervii led by our king. I do believe we have another one that's completed over here, which is Slugos 4 Morini, which begs the question, where is Slugos 3? If we do have Slugos 3 Averni. Here we go, we have Slugos 3 Averni that is in the process of recruiting up an army. And with 3 armies we should be more than capable of dealing with the Massalians. However, without any further ado, let us go ahead and cancel all of our agreements with the Massalians. It seems like we have to wait a couple of turns before we can declare war on them. I'm gonna go ahead, hide all the deceased, and very quick look at our politics. Seems like our first generation of characters are all leveled up. And we are focusing, of course, on that second generation of characters. Speaking of which, we do have a son who we can declare as the heir of the faction. Go ahead and do that. He is now the heir of the faction. We are going to give him some zeal and authority. And hopefully we should be able to marry him off in the next turn. Meanwhile, we have a general over here who could splinter off if we do not adopt him. And what we are going to do is we are going to replace him with our son, who I believe is this character over here, and give him the Reme Maripos general, of course. And just like that, our son is now in charge of an army. Fantastic. But we still have to adopt this character, because if we do not, then we could find ourselves in a problematic situation. So let us quickly try to adopt him, and it's going to be a little bit difficult because he has a lot of authority. So what we're going to do is cancel some of those abilities that give him authority, and just like that, now we should kind of be able to let's see, where can we get some more authority over here? This is more of a commercial thing, so I don't want to get that. Meanwhile, you know what, I could get this ability over here, and then in the next turn I should be able to adopt him. However, that being said and done, let's have a quick look at all of our governors, see if we can give them any traits. This guy has got all the traits we require him to have. We're going to leave that trait over there. Leave this guy over here with that. Meanwhile, in Britannia itself, let's see if we have some traits. The cultural conversion is good, but we can go for the commerce as well as the industrial, although it's not that great. Well, we might as well just give this guy the trait that is going to be a commercial trait or an industrial trait. I think the commercial trait is slightly better because it does give an increment to that tax rate. And meanwhile, over here, we can give him the trade from tariffs. Lastly, we have another elder over here who we can for now give this ability. And it really doesn't make sense to give him this ability because it does improve industry and commerce, and we don't have either of them in Britannia itself, so nothing much else to do. So let's go ahead, end the turn, and hopefully in the coming turns we should be able to attack the Massalians. Hello Panagiotis, welcome to the live stream, glad to have you with us. How are you doing? And hope you're having a good day. Of course, the Romans are going to be the final boss of this live stream, and pretty much they are going to be a force to reckon with. They pretty much own all of North Africa. Of course, their starting location in Italia, as well as, of course, a lot or a significant portion of the Iberian Peninsula. So it's not going to be easy to fight the Romans because we're going to have to fight them at least on 2 fronts. And at long last the Lusitani won peace, but they are no longer a threat to us. We're going to maintain the war so as to improve our relationships with the Romans. Very good, studying Latin while watching you. Nice, man. I do like learning languages myself, so of course Latin is a very interesting language for me to kind of learn because of course it is very relevant to the time frame of Rome 2 Total War. So Latin is a really cool sounding language. It is nothing like the Romance languages or the Romantic languages of the modern day, in that the Romance languages are a lot more fluid and pleasant sounding. Latin, especially the Old Latin, was a lot more harsher and guttural sounding. And we have hit the NATO's reform, so that's good news, which means we can upgrade some of our troops. So let's go ahead and upgrade all of our troops. And I really didn't want to reform this unit. However, we have gone ahead and done that. But it's fine, I guess. Eventually, we want to replace him with, of course... We're missing out a particular unit. Okay, we couldn't upgrade this unit just as yet, so hopefully in the next turn we will be able to. But without any further ado, let us go ahead and attack this last Lusitanians attack over here. It should be a pretty easy auto resolve. 99% should be 100% in my opinion. We are going to take a little bit of casualties, but we are going to enslave all the captives. And with that, we have a little bit more money to upgrade our troops. And we are going to put him on patrol stance. Meanwhile, we also need to upgrade our army over here. And we also have to deal with the pirate situation down in the south. However, since we have reformed or researched our Nitos reforms, I think the next thing that we need to do is research cavalry tactics, as we do want to improve the buildings that are present within the province of Aquitania to give us all of that charge bonus, which will make our Remy Maripos cavalry extremely powerful. So pretty much the next few turns, or the next couple of turns, are going to go towards that. However, over here we have done recruiting some of the units that we need. We don't have any money to recruit the other troops, so we're just going to sit and stay put in there for the time being. And one thing we can do is have a look at all of our armies. We have Slugos 2 Remy, Slugos 3 Morini. Both of them have champions in them. Both of them are nearly done getting that 3rd level of military logistician, after which I like to transfer my champions into another army, basically trying to level up my generals as quickly as possible so that they do not have, you know, a lot of upkeep. So since this general over here has all 3 levels of, you know, military logistician, I think we can go ahead and take the champion and reassign him to Slugos 3 Hibernia for military training. However, that being said and done, nothing much else to do in this turn. Let's have a quick look at public order. As you can see, Gallia is rising and so is Britannia, so that is great news. In about 11 turns, we should be making quite a lot of money from Britannia as well, and that will be really good for us because we will be able to sustain a lot more armies. Good morning, Hololive. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you with us. So of course we kind of want to, you know, strengthen up our economy as well as, you know, maximize our building capacity in Aquitania so that we get the maximum charge bonus for our cavalry. Our cavalry is insanely powerful and it is one of the best, if not the best, cavalry unit in game present in the entire Western Hemisphere, from all the way from the British Isles all the way to Syria. So pretty much the only factions that have better cavalry units are the Seleucids with their Nicaean cavalry, as well as the Parthians, the Atropatkan, and the nomadic factions. So pretty much everything in the Roman sort of empire region, or the historical Roman Empire region, in considering that we have the best cavalry, of course. Panagiotis, yeah, originally it was used by peasants around rural areas of Latium, so it makes sense. Even Romans considered Latin not to be that fancy and instead valued pretty high ancient Greek Roman aristocrats. That is true. The Romans really looked up to the Greeks, and the Greeks in many ways were kind of like very culturally similar to the Romans. Let's go ahead and quickly upgrade all of our troops. Meanwhile, over here, we are waiting for this research to complete. And we can upgrade this troop as well. Meanwhile, we can upgrade our entire army that's present in Britannia. Great, now that all of our armies have leveled up, we can focus a little bit more on the buildings themselves. Let's go ahead and upgrade that building and increase our economy of Gallia even further. And with that, nothing much else to do in this turn. I mean, we could go ahead and engage in some politics. However, some of our characters are really low in terms of gravitas, so I'm just going to sit for a while and ignore politics. Meanwhile, we have a quick look at our characters, if we can level them up. But we can't, so we're just going to go ahead, end the turn, stay put, and hopefully, I mean, I could move this champion so that he doesn't slow down my end turn. And in a couple of turns, we are going to go ahead and attack the Massalians. Are you going to build up a dedicated infantry recruitment center to increase their stats? I might do that, Hololive, and I currently do not have a dedicated infantry recruitment center. And that is because, you know, my original recruitment province was Germania Minor, pretty much our starting province, which has the regions of Vesontio as well as Atoatuca. And as you can see, we are struggling in terms of population over there, so I might relocate my infantry recruitment region probably to Raetia at Noricum, and that being a 4-region province, it is ideal for military recruitment, so that might become our new infantry recruitment center. Meanwhile, Aquitania will be our cavalry recruitment center, so we get the best cavalry units possible in Aquitania. However, in Raetia and Noricum, we get the best infantry. Some of the characters have leveled up. Let's quickly give them some abilities. This guy over here can get that military logistician. Meanwhile, our person over here can go ahead and recruit some units. However, as you can see, we are struggling a little bit with as far as our population is concerned, but we're not going to let that phase us. We are going to go ahead and kind of improve over here. I just want to check out the population of Atoatuca. We do have a decent amount of Pagi. Of course, we have a lot more Pagi in in our neighboring provinces, so we kind of have to see how we can transfer them across. Not going to be easy, that's for sure, because we do not have the settler submod. We can go ahead and upgrade this building over here. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, over here, and take our champion, get him even closer to Vesontio. And what we are going to do is we could recruit up some of these units and recruit up some more units over here. And in the next couple of turns, hopefully, we will be able to build up at least the core infantry of our army, after which we will be moving down towards Aquitania to recruit some cavalry units. However, with that, we can go ahead once again, end the turn. Panagiotis, do politicians of other parties that are not generals or governors still provide their benefit traits faction-wide? They absolutely do. If they have faction-wide traits, they do. And that is why you always want to rank them up and give them a better oof. And the Romans have attacked Massalia. That is not good. Definitely we want Narbo for ourselves. So let's see what we can do about that. But I think it is now the appropriate time to attack Masalia, even if we take the diplomatic penalty, because we can't let the Romans conquer the entirety of the Massalian kingdom, and that will really be a lot of problems for us. And the good news is Massalia has taken back Narbo, and they should be incredibly weak, which means we should have an easy start to the war. And it is winter, so not an ideal turn to start the war because of the limited movement range. However, it cut both ways, and that means the enemy can't reach us as well. However, let us quickly level up all of our characters over here. We have a diplomat in the region that we are going to give some agricultural bonuses. And over here we have an elder that we can also improve. Give him some taxation bonuses. Alright, perfect. Meanwhile, we have another elder over here that we can give further taxation bonuses. And alright, economy is looking a lot better. However, in Gallia itself, we are starting to lose a lot of public orders, so we will be not making that much income from Gallia, and we're going to have to rectify that as quickly as possible. And the way to do that is to basically give our governor generals the rightful sovereign, which gives a +8 public order each, so that will be quite powerful. We have 3 governor generals, 2 governor generals and 1 governor admiral in the region, and of course the pirate fleet is also contributing to that public order issue. Britannia is going to be an economic province, Panagiotis, and the reason being is that it's a very good economic province as far as agricultural income is concerned. So it is going to be an economic province, but it is going to focus a lot on agricultural income. Let's go ahead and move our spy deeper into Massalian territory and deploy him over here. Have a quick look. We cannot see any major Massalian stacks. Meanwhile, our general over here should have completely replenished, so we're going to move him back to Burdigala, and we're going to move Slugos to Remi to attack Narbonensis, quickly asking the Romans to join the war against the Massalians. Hopefully they will agree, and it is on low, so we're going to try to pay them a bit. They are not interested. Quick look at Massalia. Do they have any... They do not have any defensive alliances, which means we can successfully attack them without any repercussions. So let's go ahead, declare that war. 1 turn remaining, so our diplomatic penalty is not going to be that much. It should be a very easy auto-resolve, so let's just actually auto-resolve this one. And we are going to peacefully occupy the settlement because it is Celtic culture, mind you. And yes, what we are going to focus on over here is keep this as our agricultural province. Let's go ahead, demolish that building. Meanwhile, convert that into a grove of fruitus. Things are looking quite good. However, up here in the north, we can continue recruiting some troops. Let's go ahead and recruit some cavalry units. Actually, you know what? I am going to complete recruiting up my frontline units. And that's 3 of them. And we need a 4 of these guys. Alright, perfect. And what we need 2 of these axemen as well. So that's what we are going to focus on next. And in about 3 turns, we should be able to upgrade our stables as well as, of course, our war game center. So that's going to be great. Which means we will get access to, you know, even better shock troops. Hello Roderick, welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you with us, Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
For the tribe!
So Panagiotis, the edict I have in Britannia is the Sell Slaves Edict, because regardless of the type of economy you are running in your economic provinces, slave modifier is incredibly powerful. It can pretty much double if not triple your economy. So definitely having slaves in your economic provinces is the way to go, or the meta, so should I say. So you pretty much want the slave edict as well as the slave trader in your economic provinces. That is non-negotiable in my opinion. You definitely want those slaves. Now the entire reason, you know, Gallia is making close to 30,000 denarii is due to slaves, and it does have a higher amount of slaves than Britannia, and I will prove to you in the next turn, of course. And because of which it is making almost double its economy. So let's quickly just click off all that notifications, have a quick look at Gallia itself, the province, as you can see. Oops, sorry. Gallia down here. Okay, we have really low slaves in Gallia. Oh, and we do not have a slave trader just as yet. And we probably want to get that next. And as you can see, we could be making a lot more income in Gallia. However, in Britannia, we do have a little bit more slaves, and due to which we are making quite a bit of money. Go ahead, upgrade that building. Meanwhile, over here, let's quickly get the military logistician that will decrease our army upkeep. And what we want to do is... Okay, we're gonna sit in here for one more turn. We also have a political event that requires our attention. We're gonna honor the fawn and quickly have a look at all of our governor generals. Over here we can get the increased taxation as well as the increased agricultural income. In Iska we can pretty much achieve the same thing. And just like that, you can see that Britannia is now making 11,000 denarii per turn. We really want to improve the public order situation in Gallia itself. However, it's going to be a while before we can do that. So what we can do is send a character to just improve the public order situation in Gallia. That should slow down the decline. However, what we really need is for that growth rate to kick up. Alright, very quick look at all of our provinces. Belgica, Narbonensis. Okay, Belgica. You are actually not making that much money, and of course I think you are not making that much food, so I could actually make you into another military recruitment province, and that is pretty much what I am going to do. I'm going to go ahead, disband all of these buildings, because we desperately need that military recruitment, as we have run out of Pagi in Vesontio. So yes, I think down in the south we need a couple of turns to kind of replenish over here. Meanwhile, our faction leader can move all the way up north towards Octodurum. That's going to be the play. And down south over here, we're going to wait a couple of turns until we completely replenish. And the idea is we are going to pincer the Massalians. We're going to attack them from the south, taking their capital. From the north, we're going to attack Ratiat Noricum and move into Cisalpina and try to rush it before the Romans can do anything about it. But by the looks of it, it seems like the Romans will secure their northern frontier, as they are already within the region. Very quick look at all of our provinces. In about 2 turns, we should be able to upgrade some of our buildings, so we will need to save up some denarii for that. Hello, Sergeant Meme Suraj. Welcome to the live stream. Salute. Glad to have you with us. And of course, tomorrow I am going to be continuing my, Rise of the Republic campaign. We pretty much almost trashed the Samnites in that campaign, and they are no longer a major threat. However, we're going to have to keep them alive just for a little bit so that we can trigger our final reforms. But what reforms we can, and I have looked at the save game files, what reforms we can kind of achieve are the Latin reforms, so we can get access to Latin troops which come from the 4th class population, and as such they are quite quite important, quite useful. Hello Shakti, long time. How have you been, man? You've been really busy off late, and I totally understand, and I'm really glad that you're here with us in the live stream. The Romans are just growing because this fleet over here, it's taking attrition, which probably means they have conquered that final settlement. It seems they haven't. So yeah, it seems like the Namnetis are still surviving in the province of Galatia. Meanwhile, over here, our army has replenished. We can go ahead and attack Massalia. We do have a lot of army within the settlement. However, if we attack them, we can pretty much just besiege them over here and stay besieging them. There's no rush. We can build a couple of ladders and just wait for them to attack us probably. And they have about 20 turns before they surrender, which is quite a lot. However, our faction leader can keep moving towards Octodurum, at least try to conquer Raetia at Noricum, because we cannot prevent the Romans from taking over Cisalpine Gaul. Meanwhile, in Treverorum, what we want to do is we want to build up some of those military recruitment buildings, and we're going to keep our character over here temporarily so that he keeps leveling up. And we can upgrade some of our buildings, but I am going to wait a little bit to do so. Meanwhile, this pirate fleet is really causing a lot of problems and heartaches for us. We are going to try our best to move closer with our other army, but before we do that, he has leveled up. So let's give him that final level as well as some campaign range movement, even give him some morale benefits, and then we can move him towards the sea, and in the next turn hopefully we should be able to attack the pirates, getting rid of the menace in the British Channel. We have also leveled up over here. Very quickly want to look at my temples. What we need is this temple, the Nemeton, and we are going to build that if we can in Bibracte, or at least in Cenabum. And I think Cenabum will be the play. And the reason being is that we want to improve the public order in Gallia to maximize our taxation. However, what we can build over here is a research rate building. So let's go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, over here, in the next turn, we should be able to upgrade all of our cavalry recruitment buildings. So that is good news. So very quickly, let's have a look at our provinces. Most of them are improving in terms of public order, with the exception of Narbonensis. However, we are going to rectify that by improving the public order manually in the province. Quickly go ahead and end the turn and have a look at the channel. Yeah, 12th hitting me bad, not that much free time. Oh my god. Yeah. 12th, I mean, Indian education is very stressful. And especially up till the 12th grade, and at university, although the material gets a lot harder, what is easy is that people take it a lot easier, so the mentality of students is a lot more laid back, so university is definitely a lot more fun. Panagiotis, Samnites, Marius Curious, Titus, Angry Noises, yeah. Talking about the Socii Wars, I imagine. Oh my god, the pirates are gonna attack me. Oh, but that's great. We are just going to attack them head on. And they are going to retreat. Which means in the next turn they shouldn't be able to retreat. And we should be able to catch up to them, but I have noticed we have another pirate over at Caledonia, which is again a lot very annoying. Not going to lie. Alright, here we are in the next turn. And as you can see, we have built up a significant amount of treasury. Let's go ahead and attack this fleet. Get rid of this pirate fleet once and for all. That's great, we're gonna enslave those pirates. Meanwhile, we are gonna move towards the other pirates. Okay. We have completed researching this, so now what we can do is kind of focus on other things. And what we want to focus on, I'm really confused. I think what we want to focus on is improving these buildings. And we need that. Okay, really confused as to what we can focus on, but let's go ahead and quickly upgrade our barracks. Or our stables, rather. Okay, let's have a look at... Okay, we definitely want to improve our settlements. So let's go down that construction route. Meanwhile, over here we're having an even more favorable auto-resolve. I could auto-resolve it or I could fight it, but I'm gonna wait a couple more turns and force them towards, you know, attacking us. Meanwhile, we're gonna move as quickly as possible towards Octodurum and at least quickly get to Korea as well. With that, nothing much else to do in this turn. We are going to go ahead and end the turn real quick. And in college, you actually had to manage your life, and admittedly, it was more fun. In 12th, you just had to study, which wasn't very much fun, but much easier life. You will understand this in the future. That is absolutely true, Sergeant Meme Suraj. Hollow Life, a small fleet to kill the pirates. Yes, having a small fleet would be very useful. However, I do not have the recruitment slots to recruit yet another fleet. And the priority for now is to recruit Admiral Generals, or Governor Admirals and Governor Generals. So I am trying to do that. And once we have our army and navy cap at a decent value, then I can pretty much recruit, you know, a fleet to deal with the future pirate threats up in the north. However, moving our army around and trying to kill off the pirate fleets is not such a bad thing, because we will level up, we will get some experience, so that is definitely a good thing for us. And speaking of experience, I just realized the army that is in the English Channel has a sort of kind of leveled up. So we are going to transfer over our champion. Let's take our champion and bring him all the way into the land over here and let him start military training at that general. Meanwhile, our army can move back. This has a lot more movement range since I removed the champion, which is pretty interesting to say the least. So what we're going to do is move our army back towards Caledonia. Fantastic. Meanwhile, up north in Eboricon, we are slowly converting the culture, so nothing much to see there. However, down south over here, we can perhaps attack them. The auto-resolve is slowly improving per turn, as of course they are taking attrition, but we are going to just stay put and keep, you know, keep holding on. Meanwhile, down south, we can go ahead and attack Octodurum. And we might as well just fight this battle. I mean, it's not a massive battle, but they might sally out to meet us, which will make for a pretty interesting battle, even though it is a garrison. So it should be, and they are significantly outnumbered, of course. But we will get a look at some of our new units, so that is great. So market stimulation stops decline of slave population is worse than sell slaves, because I remember correctly in your Roman campaign you have market simulation on. That is absolutely correct. Yes, you want your sell slaves edict. Sell slaves edict is not absolutely useless. It is very useful in food provinces because it can help dealing with the public order situation by selling off some of your slaves. Quickly go ahead and arrange our army. Meanwhile, on the flanks, we want to protect our flanks, so let us actually get these units. Are really offensive in nature and these units are a little bit more defensive. We do have these units, so we can go ahead, select our entire phalanx unit and put up these units over there. Meanwhile, click the spear units, try to make them a bit more narrow. That is much better. Put them up over there. Our archers can be behind. Meanwhile, cavalry on the left and right flank, move them out. Our general can be all the way in the back. Baggage train as well. And now what we want to do is we want to get these guys on that left flank as well. Meanwhile, the other guys can go on the right flank and we can narrow down their formation a little bit. Perfect. I'm happy with that. We can do the same on that left flank. Okay, and now we have our reserve infantry, which we are going to spread out and kind of have a checkerboard, or rather a maniple kind of a system, so that they can reinforce easily any section of the front line. And we're going to put our javelineers on the left hand side of that battle. Let's go ahead and quickly select our entire army minus our baggage train and slowly march them forward and have a quick look at our army itself. And of course, as you can see over here, we have our reformed main phalanx units in the center, and I'm just going to keep the UI available so that I can read the names of the units. Meanwhile, behind them we have our reformed late Belgae chosen swordsmen, and as you can see, they have that chainmail armor and they have pretty good stats. They are equivalent of Roman legions, and of course they will be a lot better than Roman legions due to our general traditions, as well as our army traditions, as well as our army abilities, or rather other abilities. So as you can see, 21 melee attack, 18 melee defense. These guys are insane. And they do have 35 armor. Meanwhile, on the far left flank, we have our Belgae Axemen. Right now, these guys are as good and if not better than Agrianian Axemen, and those guys are my absolute favorite AOR and mercenary units, and that is because they can rack up a lot of kills. However, on the left flank, we have our late Belgae light swordsmen. Now, these guys have really good melee attack, pretty pathetic armor, but they do lack that scare ability, which is why I'm going to have to replace them soon enough with 4 units of champions or naked champions. On the far left and right flanks, in symmetry, we have our Remipos cavalry. So let's go ahead, fast forward the battle so that we quickly get into position. Of course, our general is also a Reme Maripos heavy cavalry, and there's nothing much to see over there. Pretty much the same looking unit. And of course, we also have our light skirmisher units on that slight left flank. Okay, meanwhile the enemy doesn't have much going on for it. And Panagiotis, so I see in the aggro regions you still use Cell Slave Edict. Not Cell, yeah, in the food provinces, not the agricultural provinces. I would call them food provinces and not agricultural provinces, because agricultural province just basically means a province in which you are making agricultural income. So definitely what we want to do is slow down the battle now. And we can get a look at our Reme Maripos cavalry in action. Quickly move them up to intercept the enemy. These guys are going to get absolutely smashed over here. 97. And they should have a lot more casualties soon after. What we're going to do is move the remainder of our Reme Maripos into the fray very quickly. Engage our phalanx units and move them up really slow. And I'm going to move them somewhere over there. Meanwhile, our axemen can move up as well. What we're going to do is move up all of our units over here as well. Fantastic. Left-hand flank, we are nearly done with these units, which means we're going to pull out. Hold down that shift key to keep issuing them commands. Get them all the way around and behind the enemy unit, and that's pretty much what we're going to do on the other side as well. Very quickly move our axemen to the side. Go ahead and charge these units so that they do not hit our flank. And pretty much we're going to do the same thing over here. Move up our units. Go ahead, hit these units so that they do not hit our flank. Meanwhile, this Reme Maripos cavalry can come somewhere over here. This unit is already routing, which is great news for us. We can move up our units a little bit further. And of course, our main phalanx line has engaged. Move the Reme Maripos to attack. Meanwhile, you can attack here. You can keep pushing forward. Go here, can attack here. Put the three of you in this direction. And we have more than routed out the enemy main line. So get both of these units to kind of engage the enemy general. This cavalry over here can go charge into those archer units. Fantastic. Meanwhile, what we want to do is kind of pin down this unit with its backs faced towards us and use our archers to hit it in the back, as they can do a lot of damage by hitting hoplite units in the back. As you can see, they have already taken a significant amount of damage. We have a Reme Maripos cavalry over here that we're going to move into the fray in order to kind of charge into the backs of these units. Meanwhile, over here, we are going to charge into these units. Use a couple of these archers. Actually, you know what? We have a skirmisher unit that we're going to move over here. As you can see, the general has already routed. Meanwhile, we can charge into this unit. Reme Maripos cavalry can charge over there, and the enemy is, of course, going to retreat, and we're going to win the battle soon enough. And this charge should be the devastating end of the battle. So, pretty much a very easy battle. I mean, we haven't fought a battle yet in this episode. There was absolutely no point fighting that battle. I could have easily auto-resolved, but I wanted to show you guys a battle. You don't have to apologize, Panagiotis. That's just the way or the terminology I use for the provinces to differentiate. There is no set or defined, term. But I kind of use agricultural province to signify a province that is gaining agricultural income. So basically an economic province that focuses on agricultural income, like Britannia. Meanwhile, I call provinces that generate food for my empire as food provinces. So I believe that this is Celtic culture, so we can just go ahead and simply occupy the settlement. So we have kind of secured one of the regions in Cisalpine Gaul, and we are going to go ahead, dismantle the building, and we can build an enclosement over here and turn off the taxes over there. Fantastic, and we should be able to replenish in the next turn, which means we can continue our march towards Korea. And of course we have some Germans over here up in the north. So speaking of Germans, we will want to take over the province from them. So what we need is to make full use of our dignitaries. And we have 3 dignitaries. This one over here is improving the economy in Gallia. Meanwhile, this one over here is culturally converting the province of, Caledonia at Hibernia. So what we're going to have to do is recruit yet another dignitary. Hopefully one that gives cultural conversion. Okay, we're going to get that guy. And we are going to move him towards, the other regions in Ratiat Noricum to kind of try to gain them from the Germans peacefully, using, of course, our timber trade region submod. Okay, Masalia, if you do not attack me, then in the next turn I am going to go ahead and attack you. And pretty much it seems like this episode is going to be really quick. We are not even an hour into the episode and we are pretty much almost done wiping out the Massalians. I mean, the Romans have declared war upon them as well, so that is of course contributing to their demise. But in the end, of course, if we kind of deal with them, then we are going to have to start our war against the Romans and start to pour down. Or maybe we can complete our conquest of Britannia as a sort of filler to this campaign. Let's go ahead, quickly end the turn, but before we do that, a quick look at our characters, and we can improve the public order in Gallia yet again. Gonna have a quick look to see if we can promote any of our characters. And this character is at Iska. We are gonna go ahead and promote him. And we can promote some other characters as well, but you do not want to spam this button as it will increase the cost of doing so. And I'm just going to show you for now. The cost is 948 denarii. If I keep doing it, as you see over here, then the next cost is double that. So if you pretty much do this, you can pretty much run out of money real quick. So you kind of want to pace it out and do it once per turn. Meanwhile, our faction leader can go ahead and educate that character, and we can adopt this character for now, and we can marry him off, which is good news. And he is quite a leveled up general, so I might as well just put him in charge of this army over here. Alright, fantastic. And our champion is going to keep moving towards him in order to train him up. However, that being said and done, I thought I could build this up, and insufficient funds. How much funds do I need? I need 8,000, so I guess I could just embezzle funds with one of our characters, and that should give me about 2,000 to 3,000 denarii, which means I can go ahead and upgrade this building. Right, so in about 10 turns we should be able to get access to our Belgian veteran champions, which is going to replace our late light Belgian swordsman. The family is really big. Yeah, man, we barbarians like to multiply real quick. So the reason you want to keep your family big is with the Nervii, you are playing as a chiefdom, which means the more influence you have, the more benefits you get overall as a faction. So you kind of want to have more family members than you have rivals. However, if you're playing as a republic like Rome, or if you're playing as a tribal confederation like the Nomads or other republics like Athens and so forth, you want to keep it fairly even. You want to have as many family members as you have political rivals, so that your influence doesn't rise too high and you will suffer from a lot of debuffs if you do not control your politics. So hopefully in the next turn we should be able to reach Korea. I'm trying to reach there before the Romans can. And of course in the next turn we are going to attack the settlement of Massalia as well. So really looking forward to that battle. It's going to be one of our first major sieges. And in fact it's going to be a siege of a walled settlements. And of course Roma has taken over Medlan. So we're going to have to quickly get across to Korea in order to prevent them from capturing the settlement for themselves. And over here we're gonna have to build up, of course, a warrior lodge, which kind of makes me think that I kind of did a mistake by building up some warrior lodges over here. However, it is what it is. This character is leveled up. Let's go ahead and actually give him some movement speed bonuses, as I don't really need that campaign range movement. So for the movement speed, we can go ahead in this route. Perfect. Any of our other characters leveled up? No, but we do have a character we can rank up over here, so let's go ahead and rank him up. And as you can see, we have kind of reached a equilibrium in terms of public order in Gallia. Gallia is kind of stuck at 27,000 denarii per turn, and that is because of that public order, of course. And of course we don't have a slave trader. Meanwhile, in Britannia we are slowly increasing our economy. It is now at 12,000. In about 3 turns that should pretty much double, because as you can see, the cattle farm gives us 500 wealth from livestock. Meanwhile, the centralized ranch, which has been buffed in the 1.32 patch, is now giving us, instead of 850, 1000 wealth from livestock agriculture. So we should see at least, by my estimate, about 16,000, which is quite significant. However, since this guy is not doing much, we can sort of march him down south towards Nemesis, and we can slowly begin to build up our cavalry force in Nemesis. We do have quite a lot of first-class population. Of course, we have the most first-class population in Lemonum, so we're actually going to move him towards Lemonum. Yes, Hololive, absolutely. I will get Ferocious Warrior. It will improve, of course, my infantry. And that is, of course, some of the later, abilities that I like to get. However, without any further ado, let us quick save over here and fight our first Stonewall settlement battle. And of course, their garrison hasn't taken any casualties, and that is because they are a port settlement, so they can be resupplied from the sea. As well as, of course, even their garrison within, or their army within the settlement, hasn't taken any damage. So that is unfortunate, but we are going to quick save over here, and we are going to jump into this massive siege battle. Of course, they do have an advantage because they have a lot of phalanx units. However, I think we should be able to pull it off because we have a lot of melee units that are really good at fighting on the ramparts. The more public order, the more income you get. How does this work? Population buffs? Yes, it's twofold. Of course, the more public order you have, the more growth rate you have. Therefore, you can increase the size of your settlements really quickly. Secondly, the more population you have, the more growth or the more buffs you get from that population directly to your income. And thirdly, I am playing with the Vox Populi submod that gives an increased modifiers for, of course, a better public order. And a very quick look at this settlement. This is a good region to attack because the enemy is kind of sticking out like this, and there are no towers in the nearby vicinity, which means my archers can do some significant damage. So we're going to select all of our units over here, all of our phalanx units, get rid of those units from using the ladders, select our general, select the archers, go ahead, line up the archers over here so that they can shoot into the sides of the enemy unit. Meanwhile, we're going to group all of our cavalry in one big group, and definitely want to not group them up with the general. So let's go ahead and deploy them over here. Perfect. Alright, and now we want to select our best infantry or melee infantry. And of course, these guys are some of the best, so we are going to select them. Give them a couple of ladders, and we can select these guys, give them a couple of ladders. Meanwhile, we have a couple of these guys. We can select these ladders. So we are going to put our ladders like so.
Melee fighters ready. Orders.
Alright, and get these 4 ladders somewhere over here. So we are going to attack this weakened spot of the enemy formation. Meanwhile, our cavalry can actually be on the right flank in case the fleet decides to land out of the settlement. A quick look at the remainder. What we are going to do is we are going to group up our army like that. Okay, so we have a left and right flank of units. Meanwhile, over here, we can have a couple of reserve units to reinforce. Of course, on top, we get our javelineers, as well as these spear units. And these spear units, we can keep them over here. Meanwhile, the javelin troops, we can keep them close. And with that, we have all of our units, with the exception, of course, of our baggage train, I believe. And what do we have here? We have 2 of our phalanx units, so let's just quickly put them all over here. Perfect. And with that, we can go ahead and start the battle. Quickly go ahead and select all of our units to approach the walls. Fantastic, and our archers can move up ahead real quick. Fantastic. Just a quick look at my settings. It seems to be a bit too bright. It seems that just the weather is the reason for it. And we are going to move up all of our spear units to kind of burn down the gates real quick. Move them up real slow. Okay, meanwhile the garrison is of course stacked. Quickly move these guys up here. Start firing into the settlement. And our reserve infantry can kind of... Okay, we have our Belgian heavy swordsmen, medium axemen. Meanwhile over here we have our very light infantry, so we can move our reserves to support our light infantry. However, by the looks of it, it seems like there's not much our light infantry have to deal with. So let's just quick forward over here. It seems like the enemy is not landing, so we are going to move our cavalry sort of kind of towards this gate, hopefully capture that gate and allow our cavalry to come inside the settlement. Archers have begun firing. Of course, they're not going to do as much damage because we are fighting against the ramparts. Hello Marcus Aurelius, welcome to the live stream, glad to have you with us. Anyways, I have to leave for now, we'll chat with you later. See you Sergeant Meme Suraj if you're still there, and thank you for joining me in this live stream. Okay, meanwhile some of our troops have approached the walls. Alright, this battle is going to take a while, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty massive battle, and we are moving up all of our troops slowly but surely. Meanwhile, this unit over here can go ahead, keep trying to reach the walls, and of course some of our units have gone up onto the ramparts. And they should be able to deal with hoplite units a lot better. Keep in mind, hoplite units on the wall cannot go into phalanx formation, so they will always have that formation breached, sort of a debuff, which is kind of good for us. Okay, meanwhile over here on the left hand side of things, as you can see, already dealt quite decisively with the enemy units. And our spearmen over here are in position so they can go ahead, burn down the gates. Meanwhile our phalanx units can also burn down the gates. So we should be able to burn the gates quite quickly. So the idea is to quickly neutralize these gates so that we don't have much of a problem entering the settlement. Alright, meanwhile on this side things are looking quite good. Get our other ladder over there. This ladder is kind of stuck in between all of the units, but we're gonna keep spamming that order so that it keeps moving. Meanwhile these swordsmen can come all the way and try to neutralize this tower. These units can come closer here, and we can have another bunch of units over here. And of course the enemy gates have already been burnt. We are hoping to neutralize them so that we can get our armies into the settlements. Very quickly get our spearmen out of the way. Keep our phalanx units, keep spam clicking over here. Right. Fantastic. Even on the right hand side of the wall we are quickly dealing with the enemy. We have another bunch of enemies over here that we can attack in the back. So they should be attacked from both sides. We still really need to neutralize these gates.
Short sword.
Okay, these swords have kind of achieved their objective. So we can move the other swordsmen up the ladders.
Short sword.
Meanwhile, we can move these swordsmen up as well.
On watch. Ready.
Fantastic. Keep moving across, trying to neutralize and capture that gate, to which we should be able to enter the city. These gates are burning, and the gates have been burned, so we can put this unit in that phalanx formation. It's almost neutralized, so we can slowly march them into the settlement. Put them up as narrow as possible.
Counts. Orders.
Fantastic. Okay. Things are looking great. There's no real threat to us at the moment. With the exception of course, these units can be targeted by the archers. So we are just simply going to move them across to the gates. There's no point trying to neutralize this section. And we can fast forward a little bit over here since of course we are just waiting. And very quickly just align our phalanx units. Okay, we're gonna slow down the battle so that I can maneuver them properly through the gates. Go ahead, keep attacking this unit. Move in carefully. They will not take any oil damage because the gates have been neutralized. If only I had 2 elephants. Yeah, man. Oh my god, if only I had 2 elephants. This would have made the battle a lot easier. However, you'll see this phalanx unit being able to do a lot of damage. We're gonna stop their march, keep them in position. Right, keep attacking. Okay, 1 kill. Alright, perfect. And we're nearly done neutralizing this gate over here. Meanwhile, over here we have done quite well, so let's actually move our troops down into the settlement. And we can try to encircle some of these other phalanx units. Meanwhile, we can get our cavalry all the way over there in preparation, of course, to deal with the enemy. And we're going to move our other swordsmen to neutralize that gate. This unit can go over here. Start attacking these units. And we can get our general up close. Quick look at our phalanx unit. Not doing a lot of damage, surprisingly. Let's get another phalanx unit in there. Hopefully a much better aligned phalanx unit. And engage in that phalanx mode. Move them slightly ahead.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Okay. This unit is losing decisively. There's no point. I'm gonna pull them back out. Not a very proper phalanx attack, and our general is close by. We are going to inspire to prevent this unit from routing. Meanwhile, this unit is fine. We're going to select all of the other units to kind of deal with the clutter. Move them out of the way. Out of the way. And we can slowly march our units into the gates. Hopefully this time they will be able to do a lot better. Okay, we have almost captured the gates, but oh no, they have been able to neutralize it. And we have a phalanx unit over there, which is a little bit annoying.
Swords.
What we are going to do is move our units down there.
Youth! One of our
Go
units
ahead,
has
keep
used all its
attacking this
ammunition.
phalanx unit. Move this unit down over here to attack that phalanx unit in the flank.
Youth!
And over here, all of our units have kind of come down. So we're gonna go ahead and try to encircle this phalanx unit.
Get ready!
Ready. Fearless warriors.
Go ahead, keep charging at that unit.
The men are wavering.
Which men are wavering? Oh no, that's not good.
Serve gold. We have gold
Can just burn down the gates as the cavalry. Okay, pretty decent. In one volley we got 20%, so in about 5 volleys we should be able to burn down those gates.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Meanwhile, a quick look at this phalanx unit. Okay, this one's doing a lot better. Go ahead. Charge this phalanx unit in the back. And this phalanx unit is losing, but they're bringing in more phalanx units. So we really need to get in our cavalry. Bring my javelins onto the walls. That is a very good suggestion. I'm going to do that actually. So let us actually bring our javelins close by. Turn off the fire at will. Actually, we can bring them on this side because there's no one on these ladders. Move these guys behind. You look absolutely horrible, so I'm going to move you all the way over here. And 47 kills, so that's good. This unit is now racking up those kills. Alright.
We have captured the gates.
Okay, we have captured the gates. Get in quick. Get in real quick.
Ready. Elite cavalry.
Alright, our cavalry has just managed to get into the settlement, which is good. Meanwhile, over here we have routed that phalanx unit. We can go ahead and attack these units. Quickly charge into this unit over here. Get rid of their general. That should be a significant morale debuff. Okay, fantastic. And of course the entirety of the army seems to be coming my way, which is a little bit problematic. Go ahead, charge our cavalry in that direction now. Take 4 of our cavalry members and they can go ahead and attack here. One, two, three, 4. Can attack these units. General, inspire. Alright, our javelin troops are almost at the top, and of course our phalanx unit is doing very well over here. No casualties so far, and have inflicted 163 casualties. And of course they have cleared the gates, so we could move them closer. However, we're gonna have to see how that goes. Alright, quickly charge our cavalry into this unit over here. We need to get rid of this horse unit, and then we're going to pull away from all of these units because, of course, we don't want to get bogged down in a melee. And what we're going to do is try to focus those units over there, but I don't see a clear route to those units. Quickly charge our cavalry across the enemy cavalry towards that missile unit. And as you can see, they're already routing, and this is kind of what you want to do in order to prevent your cavalry being bogged down. Okay, our javelin troops have reached the ramparts, so quickly put them up onto the walls. Meanwhile, these melee units can come all the way over here and attack these units. Quick look at our cavalry once again. Nearly done dealing with this cavalry unit.
The battle is turning in our
Pull back. Fantastic, and we can charge into this light melee infantry. They shouldn't be able to do much against our cavalry. They should take quite a lot of damage quite quickly, as you can see, already routing. The only problem is, of course, this hoplite unit over here. If I could somehow get rid of that unit, then it might be game over for, of course, this blob over here. But speaking of game over, we have managed to catch up to the enemy. So quickly try to hit them over here. Deal with this archer unit. Pull our cavalry behind.
Our general is under attack.
Select all of these units. You're gonna go ahead and attack these units over here. Meanwhile, a quick look at our cavalry. Kind of looking okay, but we have a bunch of hoplites blocking us. So I'm not going to risk my cavalry. I'm just going to pull them slightly behind as well. Get these guys to charge over here. We have done quite well over here. These guys can charge into as well. Our skirmishers, they have reached the walls, but they're not going to do much by the looks of it.
The enemy have captured the gates.
Alright, charge our cavalry towards that missile unit. And we do have a gap over here that we can exploit. So we're going to try to move our cavalry into that gap. But first we're going to have to clear these missile units as well as clear these units. And that should widen the gap. Come on. Alright, meanwhile over here we have managed to capture this region. That is good news. I think we should be able to win the battle quite soon. And keep pushing into that unit very quickly. Keep pushing. You come here. Keep pushing. Try to keep moving them around that phalanx unit. Okay, fantastic, just moving across. Great, and now we can catch up to all of the archer units. Okay, we can fast forward over here. There's nothing much else left to the battle. And of course our javelin units on the walls, they can sort of kind of come down, or come this way rather. And we can enable that fire at will. Cavalry is going to make short work of all of these missile troops. And we can even get our general into the city now. Get a couple of our phalanx units into the settlement as well. Get in there in double time. General. We move all of our cavalry over there, get them out of the way. General, come here. While our javelineers are slowly making their way towards the settlement, what we're going to do is we're going to put them all over here in an attempt to neutralize the tower. these units have kind of survived, which is kind of good news. Why are we having oil? I think the oil is for the enemy running out of our gates. We have 4 of these units, phalanx units. We're going to pull them up real quick. Hopefully they form up really quickly. And then we can go on that javelin troops.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
The javelins can kind of throw into these units. And it should be quite a lot of damage actually. Let's slow down to see the carnage. Oh, and they turn their backs towards us, which is absolutely horrible. You can see... oh my god. Should be taking quite a lot of damage. Two of these units are done, and if they break, I don't think the other 2 units will stand and fight. There we go. And with that, we have conquered Massalia. Pretty massive battle, but not that difficult. We have taken some casualties, especially with our melee troops. And decisive victory nonetheless. So I'm pretty happy with my army composition, but definitely I want those, you know, the naked champions. For sure, Hololive. Yeah, definitely. And so with that, the Massalians have lost their capital. We can just peacefully occupy the settlement. We should have a very good amount of population over here because it is Celtic culture and it has never changed ownership. So as you can see, we have 10,000 Pagi in the province. Meanwhile, what we are going to do is we are going to dismantle a couple of the buildings and kind of make this province into a province, and that's kind of nice that we get access to some ramming ships. And so I'm gonna actually build a fleet now by the looks of it. Go ahead and dismantle this as well. Alright, quick look of some of our abilities. And I think what we want is this weapon damage. We want the melee attack skill as well. Be armed? No, not really. Okay. Perfect. And with that, our army has become even more deadly. Meanwhile, we have a champion over here that we can move towards this character. And yeah, pretty much with that, we can go ahead and end the turn. And we'll see what the future holds for us. By the looks of it, it looks like, of course, our next adversary is going to have to be the Romans, and we will be looking to wiping out the Caledonia as well. And we probably will end up doing that before we take on the Romans so that we can bring even more armies down south. Against the Romans, I'm guessing we will need at least 5 armies, at least 5 armies. If we can get 4, I'm going to be pretty happy, but 5 armies is going to be the key to defeating the Romans. Yeah, pretty much I think the idea is going to be to hold out southern Gallia and try to push through Italia instead, pretty much relegating the Romans in Hispania. Panagiotis, yes, it was a hell of a battle, man. 41 stack armies are really, really nice to have, and they really make battles a lot more interesting, a lot more slower paced, as well as a lot more strategic. Hey, general has leveled up. Which general would that be? Would be the leader of the Britannia, which is kind of great. Campaign range movement, really didn't need that. That's gonna be good enough for now. Meanwhile, this character can sort of kind of move towards Trevorum. I mean, I don't really need to recruit, you know, my cavalry just yet, because I am waiting for all of these buildings to finish leveling up, and that should give me a pretty insane charge bonus. Meanwhile, over here, you can see my army is almost done replenishing, which is great news, and it should be able to replenish in this turn, maybe in a couple of turns. And of course, there is no threat at all when it comes to build another farm here. Perfect. In terms of food, we're doing quite well, so I'm pretty happy with how things are turning out. Meanwhile, we can use this character over here to keep marching towards Korea, capture it before the Romans can. And we can declare a battle against them. Meanwhile, move our dignitary into the province of Raetia and Noricum. We are going to move and try to take the settlement of Alcimonis from the Germans. And after that, hopefully we can even get the region of Norea from the Lugii. Alright, very quick look at this army over here. Can we recruit a couple of troops? And I think we should. Let's go ahead and recruit this sword unit as well as a couple of these axemen. And then after that, we have... what do we have left to recruit? We have 8 Maripos cavalry. That will bring us at 36. So, kind of confused. What are we missing? What are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have 10 of these units instead. Over here we have 8. So we're going to need 10, of course. We're going to need a couple more. That should bring us to 38, which still means I'm missing a couple of units. And that could possibly be, of course, these light armed swordsmen. We have already recruited those. Ah, the heaviest spearmen, 2 of them. Perfect. Okay. Alright, 41 units is not a workshop mod, right? No, it is not. It's pretty much a... let's quick save over here, hop into the battle. It's pretty much using an application known as a save parser, which you will use to edit a save game in order to have 41 unit armies. However, easy battle over here. Should be quite easy. The faction leader is doing quite well, conquering 2 settlements. Meanwhile, the other army is not done too bad itself, managing to secure the entire province of Narbonensis, so really happy with how the campaign is going. It is, I'd say we're way past the mid-game, and it's a lot easier now to deal with the enemy. So let's go ahead, quickly deploy our army, get our archers, cavalry on the left and right flank, our main phalanx line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Alright. Infantry on the left flank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Infantry on the right flank. And we can make these guys a bit narrower. And then we are gonna get our reserve infantry over here. Put them kind of like that. General all the way up here. Baggage train. Finally our skirmishers. And then our cavalry on the left and right flanks. Let's go ahead and start the battle. It's not a very good battle map because it is very hilly, and hills are not really good. Hills are not really good for, you know, phalanx type units. However, let's just fast forward over here. My guess is that these guys are going to be somewhere on the hill. I don't have a guide that covers it as of yet, but I am getting a lot of requests to cover it, so I might just cover it. Let's just slow down the battle over here, get our Reme Maripos cavalry into the fray. Meanwhile, our other units can sort of march towards this direction. What are these units? These are our archers, so our archers should rather come here. And our reserve infantry can be slightly behind. Cavalry managed to get charged. That is rather annoying. And I have moved up my entire front line, unfortunately, so kind of messed up over there. But we can just quickly redraw them out. Perfect. Get our archers into position as well. These couple of units can come here. Our reserve infantry all the way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, perfect. Our units over here can kind of form up. Okay, perfect. And just see how powerful Reme Maripo's cavalry is. It's just so powerful. They hardly took any casualties despite being charged, and they're going to make short work of this unit over here. Really nothing much this unit can do. We're going to move our other cavalry on the left flank to encircle the other horse unit. We're going to charge our Reme Maripo's cavalry into this horse unit as well. Definitely dealing a lot of damage. Quickly put these units in phalanx formation, march them up slowly. Meanwhile, our cavalry over here can engage. The Reme Maripo's cavalry can stop chasing that cavalry into the center of the enemy units. Once again, it's going to be a very decisive victory. And these units can sort of kind of line up over here. Pull out our Reme Maripo's cavalry. They've done quite well over there. And on the left flank, these units have already engaged. So everything is looking quite well despite that initial error in micromanagement. And we're gonna keep moving our phalanx units up. Meanwhile, these units can kind of try to gain the hill. Move our cavalry all the way out. And these guys can run into position. I really want them to get into the fight as quickly as possible. Gain the high ground advantage as quickly as possible. We can get our javeliners on this side as well. Now, these guys here, javelin troops can come all the way here. Reme Maripo's cavalry go all the way in the back. Move these cavalry behind, and we're going to recharge this light infantry unit. We could actually just send our axemen to deal with them.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Get these guys around. Cavalry has done a good job. And the phalanx units are almost in position. Okay, it seems like the enemy phalanxes are going to engage us, which is great.
One of our units has used
And
all
of
its
course, this unit has pretty much routed real quick. We can get our cavalry ready to charge the entire back line of the enemy. It's going to be a pretty epic charge, I'm not going to lie. Meanwhile, our skirmishers have reached that right flank real quick. What we are going to do is we're going to try to make these units turn their backs towards us. Because if they do that, then we should be able to deal quite a lot of damage against them. Meanwhile, try to engage some of the units. We don't have any danger of our flanks being exposed, so we might as well just do this. Get our skirmishers into position as well. These units up here close. Fantastic, and the cavalry can go ahead charge over there. Meanwhile, these guys can throw the last remaining of their javelins into that unit and charge down the hill. But this unit is going to get absolutely entirely annihilated from both sides. And they should be routing quite easily after that. Meanwhile, our javelins are throwing a lot of their javelins into these units, and these units are taking quite a lot of damage. What we are going to do is use our archers to hit this unit. Slowly move up our hoplite unit to deal with that unit. This this unit is nearly done. Our javelins have done a fantastic job. And we are going to move our javelins even closer to the enemy. And with that, an easy battle. Hello Anthony, just joined the stream. I see you in the battle map where you fight on a giant hill. That can be annoying. Really tires units going to the top of the hill. It absolutely does, unfortunately. But it was an easy battle against a garrison. We only lost 29 troops. Very easy battle. And, you know, if in case, I mean, those of you who have joined and seen the battle a lot earlier, if you kind of mismanage your army, you can always try not to panic. Because the minute you panic, you will create even more errors. So just be patient, just be calm, and slowly try to reposition your entire army from scratch, and it should be quite easy to do. You don't really need to do it quickly. You don't really need to, because in a hurry you might end up misclicking even further. So the easiest thing to do is to be very calm and composed and quickly reorient your entire army. Go ahead, demolish all of these buildings that we don't need. Great. And yeah, pretty much it seems like the Massalians are done and dusted for this episode. So what we are going to focus on is perhaps moving our army to the north. Get them into Britannia. Hopefully we should be able to deal with you know, the Caledonia as well. That is the eventual plan. I kind of did a misclick over there, which might turn into a slum if I'm not careful. I don't want to stop any of the buildings that I am building. I could stop this building over here, but I could stop one of these buildings. That is probably the best bet. Wonderful. And our champion's going to keep moving towards this unit. Go ahead, move him here. Move him into the settlement. Alright, so you are gonna start recruiting up as well. We don't have enough money. Let's just go ahead and end the turn. And hopefully in the next turn we should be able to recruit our 5th army. So as you can see, we are slowly snowballing into a, you know, real power to reckon with. It seems that our alliance with the Germans have really benefited the Germans. They have grown to quite a considerable size. I just noticed that the Lugii has pretty much the entire eastern half of Northern Europe. Meanwhile, the Suebii have the central portion of Northern Europe. So definitely the Germans are also going to be quite a tough adversary to deal with. However, of course, without, you know, without delaying any further, our next target is definitely going to be the Caledonia and the Romans. Quite an interesting campaign so far. The Nervii roster is very nice roster. I like it. It's very well balanced. The only thing missing are some form of pike units, but they do have a very respectable phalanx type unit. Let's go ahead and build up a weaponsmith over there to improve our attack rate or even our armor. While armor might not be a priority for, of course, barbarian factions because they do have very low armor, improving our attack is definitely going to be very helpful. Let's quickly move up our army over there. Get a couple of... Okay, we need to upgrade these buildings further. And we can build that over there. Okay, perfect. We need to wait a couple of turns before we can continue our recruitment. We can do, I guess, is that the Massalians are no longer a threat down over here, so we might as well just move our general all the way up towards Britannia. We're just gonna quickly select him like that.
Destination reached.
Meanwhile, move our dignitary towards Korea and try to gain the province from them. And quick look at our politics. Can upgrade some characters even further. Let's go ahead and upgrade this character and use another character to improve the public order in Gallia itself. Perfect. Meanwhile, some of the characters can get married, so let's marry them off. We have a massive family tree. We can even marry off our faction heir. And we can go ahead and end the turn. And
For battle.
yeah, fighting off the Romans is not going to be easy. It seems like they have pretty much almost the entirety of the Western Roman Empire, and they have a foothold in Hellas as well by the looks of it. Definitely not going to be an easy campaign against the Romans. They're going to have a lot of armies. We're going to have to fight a lot of Romans, but we are going to use, you know, the tactics that we have been using so far in order to counter the Romans. And it should be a very interesting matchup against the Romans, and perhaps after I defeat the Romans or at least push them out of Europe, I might end the series and perhaps play something else. I noticed that I am slowly creeping up to 2k subscribers, so I might actually end up doing an Alexander the Great campaign. Maybe not as a live stream. I would actually like to do that as a Let's Play series so that I can have a narrative campaign. You know, which is quite similar to the Roman Let's Play series. As Alexander the Great does deserve a campaign on his own. Alright, characters returned from mission. Some of the characters have leveled up. Let's quickly move our army.
Goal is starting out.
Okay. Our dignitary can move. Wow. This is all the way up north. We really have to push him further up north. Meanwhile, Octodurum and... okay. Upgrade this. Get a irrigation center over there. And we are nearly done building up the entire province of Aquitania. We just have to upgrade this final warhorse trader, which will take another 16 plus 2 turns, so 18 turns. So in about 18 turns, we should have this province ready to build our Reme Maripos cavalry. Being said, let's actually convert this building. We don't need this for cavalry anymore. We can make this into another proving grounds, because that does give better growth rate for our first and second class population, which is what we need. Perfect. Meanwhile, up north in Britannia, things are looking quite good. Britannia should be making quite a decent amount of money right now, but this is winter, so it is 13,000 denarii per turn. So definitely we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Meanwhile, we kind of... okay, we're still stuck on Imperium level 4, I believe. We are quite a way off from Imperium level 5, and that is actually what we need. We really need Imperium level 5. So let us just put this guy in patrol stance. We can't. Meanwhile, we can move this guy all the way up north as well. And we will have a unified force against the Caledonia. So that's going to be great. Some of the characters have leveled up. Let's go ahead and give them some abilities. Perfect. This character over here can focus on that growth rate as well as the taxation rate. And we have a spy all the way up north over here. Focus on that assassination chance. Perfect. Getting rid of the Caledonia should really prove very beneficial, because we will be able to leave Britannia for the most part undefended we will not need any armies up north over there. And yeah, as mentioned before, we can bring down all of our armies, and we will need every single army we can muster to fight off the Romans. As pretty much, I guess, in the next episode, that's pretty much what's gonna go down. We're gonna fight the Romans, and maybe we can try our level best to push down Italia, and we might even try to push down into Iberia as well. We'll see how that goes. Going to take a long time for these armies to get up all the way up to the north, unfortunately. Except our general, our main faction leader, he does have a lot more movement points. Now we can finally get this unit up to the north. Quick look at the chance. We have a 2% chance of gaining the province, or the region rather, which is kind of good. Meanwhile, we can upgrade this building as well. Try to upgrade some of our other buildings. Quick look of all of our provinces. See if we can level up anything. We can increase this building to give us some growth rate. Go ahead, improve this for the growth rate. And over here, this is where we need another edict. So what we are going to do is we are going to cancel sell slaves edict over here, and we're going to use it in our food province, because we are, of course, we have some slaves and they contribute to the public order issues. So we definitely want to improve our, or decrease our slave population in those regions. Meanwhile, over here in Gallia itself, we just need one more growth rate in order to expand Bibracte, and then we can build a slave trader. However, just to answer the question, as you can see over here with the troubled populace, we are getting a -4 to our tax rate. Of course, our growth in these provinces, as you can see, is negative. We are losing population, and as you can see, population does give an increased tax income, increased agricultural as well as industrial income. So we want to grow our population. As can be seen in Britannia on the opposite hand, we are growing our population by 888 per turn. And of course, having that maximum inspired populace, we get a +8 to our taxation. So definitely we want to turn around the situation in Gallia, and we might be able to do that in this episode, but we'll have to see how that goes. Now, I'm just thinking, we do have a diplomat all the way up at Eboracon, and he is busy culturally converting the province of Caledonia at Hibernia. What add-on gives you 41 units as max per stack, and does it work for the AI too? Yes, it does work for the AI, Palragstad, and it's not an add-on. It's basically a an app that I use, which is known as Save Parser, with which you can edit save game files to increase the army cap, and 41 is the maximum you can have, because anything beyond 41 and they will not take part in the battle, because you can only ever have 41 armies in a battle at once. Daughter has come of age, our income is looking a lot better, so that's good. Meanwhile, over here, we are nearly done building up that building, which is kind of good news. Let's go ahead and actually +3 melee attack versus a +4 armor. I'm going to go for the melee attack. That is definitely the priority. Meanwhile, we do want to move up our faction leader even further up north. We're gonna move our other character as well, all the way over here. Get this character all the way towards Eboricon. And I don't want to convert Eboricon any further. That is because I want to be able to loot these settlements. So let's move our dignitary all the way down over here. Get him across to the mainland. And then he can be used to try to gain the region of Norea. Save parser, yes, definitely look into that. Alright. I will create a guide on how to do save parser, since a lot of people have actually asked me that quite often. And to be frank, I really don't want to keep explaining the same thing over again. Not that I have an issue with it, but it would be a lot easier just to create a simple guide that people can refer to. However, over here, our dignitary has leveled up, so we can get the extra research rate, which also gives us public order, which will improve the public order in the province of Gallia a little bit, a fair bit. So let us also marry off some characters and send some of these characters to improve the public order in Gallia. And now we should be making a positive public order +8. So that is great. Meanwhile, see if we can rank up any of our characters. We can't. Quick look over here. Quickly end the turn once again. Well, it seems like our champion can level up. So let's go ahead and give him some abilities. And he's almost completely leveled up, so that is good news. Meanwhile, this champion is a little bit weaker. So what we are going to do is we are going to try to exchange champions, because this army is in the process of building up. So he will require that... he will require that level up so that he can get the military logistician a lot faster. Meanwhile, this champion can go all the way over here. Train that army. You can go all the way over here. Show us a big battle now. Would absolutely love to do that. I am going to do it against the Caledonia by the looks of it. I might actually attack Tamer. They do have a big stack in Tamer. So what we are basically doing for now is we're trying to move or mobilize our armies towards the Caledonia and deal with the the Caledonians and conquer the entirety of the British Isles once and for all. And after doing that, we can pretty much focus our attention in the south against the Romans in the next episode. And that should be a very, very interesting episode. Anyways, for those of you who are currently in the live stream, I thank you all for watching. And I'm really happy that you all are here. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. And definitely, for those of you who haven't checked it out, check out my Roman Let's Play series. It is a very popular series, and perhaps even the most popular series at the moment in Total War Rome 2 Divide et Impera. Alright. So our faction leader has nearly made his way all the way up. Meanwhile, we are going to move this army all the way over here, and this is where we're going to have a big battle. This is 25 stack. Tamer has 17 units over there, so we're going to actually try to move our army, this army, towards there, because we might as well do that. Meanwhile, this army doesn't really need to go up north towards Britannia, now that I think about it. Alright, perfect. We can keep building up this region. Meanwhile, over here, our success chance of gaining the province has increased to 9%, which is great. Our dignitary, our other dignitary can move and get towards Norea. Fantastic. Quick look at all of our provinces. Everything seems to be quite okay. We are making a lot more income per turn now. So it is time to start recruiting up some units when we can. And we are kind of waiting for this meeting ground to complete building up, after which we can go ahead and recruit some units. I think what I want to do is I actually want to make Vesontio my capital. Let's actually do that, move Vesontio to be a capital so that we get an increased growth rate to our first and second class population, which is what we kind of need at the moment. And quickly look at our politics. We can marry off some characters, so let's actually go ahead and do that. See if any characters have leveled up. Doesn't seem like they have. Quickly look at our faction leader. He cannot educate anyone, so pretty much nothing else to do in this turn. So let's go ahead and end the turn. At summary, you have amazing talent and strategy. I love the Rome campaign. Wish you the best from California. Thank you so much, Yexander. Yexander. I'm guessing it's, or is it Lexander? Yexander Freeman. I'm gonna call you Freeman if you don't mind. And I'm glad you like the Roma series. I really put a lot of effort into it. And definitely it's going to get a lot more interesting. I plan on releasing the next episode this coming Friday. And the reason I didn't the last Friday is because it was Good Friday and of course the Easter weekend. And I was celebrating Easter with my family. Peace treaty with Massalia, I'm not going to accept. They are no longer a threat to us, and staying in a war with them will only make the Romans like us even more. But, you know, we're not going to pretty much be in friendly terms with the Romans for much longer. Seems like the Suevos have declared war against me. This is interesting, to say the least. And are they actually going to attack? Oh my god. Wow. That was a low blow, man. Right when I thought we could end this episode on a positive note, we have been attacked by the Suevos. And it seems like Rome will have to wait for now, and we need an army very quickly to deal with the Suevos, or we are going to pretty much get overrun over here. That was really unfortunate, but let's see if we can piece out the Suevos. We have a good amount of money. I definitely want to piece them out if I can afford to do so. It's on moderate. You know what? We're gonna fight this one out. Quickly move our army down south towards Octodurum. Our other army over here, meanwhile, can move up towards Atuatuca, where you can recruit a couple of the units that you are lacking. And you are pretty much lacking... What are you lacking? 1, 2, 3, a couple of these spear units, 300 men units, 1 and 2. And you're also lacking a couple of the phalanx units, so let's get those phalanx units. And you can level up. Get that further upkeep cost reduction. Perfect. And it seems like we're not going to be able to get Alcimones, unfortunately, because of that war, but we can conquer it pretty much. So that is unfortunate, rather. Meanwhile, we are going to move this army into the, into the Irish Sea, and then we're going to get him across to attack the Caledonia. Meanwhile, our faction leader can also move towards Eborcon. Get our dignitary into the mainland of Europe. Quick look at all of our provinces. Nothing much we have to do. We can go ahead and build up over there, and in about 15 turns we should be able to recruit our expert Reme Maripos cavalry from the province of Aquitania, so that is definitely good news. Let's go ahead, quickly upgrade this character. And we are going to end the turn, and try to conquer Ratiad Noricum from the Germans, unfortunately. And I think maybe what we can do is venture into Uburzis in the next turn, probably release it so that they do not have an avenue to attack our easternmost provinces in Germania Minor. And after we do that, we can kind of march this army down south to take Alcimonis. Really unfortunate regarding the Germans. I thought I had my eastern borders secured, however I didn't pay attention to probably their opinion against us dropped significantly, and due to which they have declared war against us. But you know, nothing to fear. We are going to pretty much... Oof, we have 2 huge German stacks against us. That is not good. That is absolutely not good. Just as we move our entire army north to deal with the Caledonia. Okay, the Namnites. This army... Alright. March you all the way down south over there. You, on the other hand, you have a 34 stack.
Ready for battle.
We're going to bring you down towards Vesontio. Protect Vesontio at all costs. And in the next turn we can recruit our champions, which is good news. However, I think the need of the hour is we're not going to build up over here. What we're going to do is we are actually going to build up another army over here. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a couple of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's pretty good for now. And general or our champion has leveled up, which is good. Go ahead. Get this. Fantastic. And our general over here can move up north towards Iboracon. Fantastic. Meanwhile, this army can go all the way over here towards Temer. And we can break off our agreements with the Caledonia for now. Non-aggression as well as our trade agreements. Go ahead, break that. And we can go ahead, end the turn. Just after a quick look. And our Governor General over here in Bibrakte has leveled up. So we can get the Empire maintenance, which is very important for now. Because we are a bigger entity, and as such we will be having a lot of empire maintenance issues. However, that being said and done, I think it is time to go ahead, end the turn, and see what the Germans will do to us in the end turn. After we deal with the Caledonia, then I think it should be quite easy to deal with the Germans. We are gonna have to release a lot of factions. I have no interest really in owning those provinces. I'm gonna have a quick look at, of course, you know, the victory conditions, and if the victory conditions demand that I own those provinces, then I am gonna go ahead and own those provinces. Meanwhile, we have a German stack attacking us over here, massive German army attacking us. The problem with this is that we don't have any cavalry in this army, but we are going to fight this. We are at least going to try to inflict some massive casualties against them. We do have one Reme Maripos cavalry, that is our general. And this is going to pretty much be one of the very first battles I am fighting without a cavalry force, and that is because I was actually waiting for Aquitania to kind of level up, and you know, as such I can get access to the improved version of the Reme Maripos cavalry. However, this is going to be an interesting battle to say the least. Alright, so just taking some time to load, and we are in the battle by the looks of it. And of course the fog. The AI always chooses fog for some reason. Alright, let's quickly group up our armies. We don't have our cavalry, so we're gonna use our infantry as our flanks. Meanwhile, use all of these units in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, perfect.
Gotcha. Close up now.
Excellent. Get our archers behind, put on that guard mode. Meanwhile, these guys can be here. Turn off your fire at will. Get our axemen on either flank. Swordsmen over here. Axemen. And our general all the way in the back. Meanwhile, our baggage train can be even further behind. Let's go ahead and start the battle. We do have a bit of a hill over here, so I might be inclined to just sit on that hill. So let's actually move our army really fast towards that high ground. Make use of that high ground. This unit is kind of retreating towards the main army, and that's pretty much where the danger is going to be. Okay, move up our army. This is actually going to be the first battle for our faction heir, so to speak, and of course he is in charge of a Remy Maripos cavalry himself. Pretty good looking cavalry unit and even better on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and activate that phalanx formation for our shield wall units. And now we wait for the Germans to come out of the fog and attack us. This could take a while. I'm gonna march a bit forward because I don't want to sit here and waste time. And okay, we're starting to see the first German unit all the way over there. Second one slowly appears. And they also have a phalanx unit, which is rather interesting. The main threat is obviously going to be their cavalry because we do not have cavalry. However, their cavalry is a light shock cavalry, so there's much to be thankful for as far as that is concerned. Meanwhile, they are stretching out really thin, which means I actually want to stretch out my spearmen as well. Let's double click our spearmen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch them out. Select our main infantry line and reorient them. There we go. Now our spearmen are a little bit stretched out. We are going to turn our flanks in order to prevent ourselves from being encircled. Now the real problem is going to be the right flank because we don't have heavy troops on that right flank. Meanwhile, on the left flank, even though they have a cavalry unit, we do have a lot of javelins here, and that should be quite helpful against cavalry units. So what we're going to do is very quickly over here turn this unit, slow down the battle.
One of our units has used all its
And
ammunition.
as predicted, the cavalry unit has attacked us, so we can charge our general up to that unit.
Our general is under attack.
Meanwhile, get a couple of these swordsmen behind over here to protect our flank.
Melee warriors.
And now our javelins are going to throw into the cavalry units. And they stopped the charge, which is interesting. Can we catch up to them? Which is great. They kind of missed out on their charge. Our general faction leader is in the middle of a melee over there. I'm gonna pull him out real quick. Across our own lines, that is fine. So that the enemy can't give chase. Meanwhile, these units get there just in time to deal with this cavalry unit. What we're gonna do very quickly over here. These units can throw their javelins into that unit. Meanwhile, both of these swordsmen can come here. Quick look of that right flank. Okay, the right flank really has to hold. So what we're going to do is get some of our reserves over here. Move our general behind. Move our reserves forward. We're going to let these troops fight it out for a bit. And when they get tired and they waver, we are going to pretty much deal with them. Cavalry is really going to be annoying in this battle. Get this unit around. We're going to try to flank over there. We cannot afford to, lose our left flank. We already have a situation with cavalry, so we definitely cannot lose our left flank. Meanwhile, use our archers to hit their missile troops. You can hit their general. Trying to charge our general. Charge off. Fantastic. Keep charging in there. We are losing our left flank, unfortunately. Alright. Done with one cavalry unit, which is great. Get our swordsmen back into formation. Preparation. Meanwhile, our skirmishers have reached a good position, so they can sort of kind of line up as well. Get our cavalry, our general to deal with that unit. Meanwhile, these swords units can charge into the back of that left flank. And I think it is time to charge our swordsmen into the fight. Meanwhile, our general is going to keep chasing, and we are crushing their left flank, or their right flank, which is great. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, the next episode of the Roman series is going to be released this coming Friday. Let's throw our javelins into these units real quick.
Our men flee the field of battle.
Who's fleeing?
This is a shameful display.
Oh, our spearmen. Our general, you're done chasing over there, so let's just get you here. Meanwhile, our archers can come across. We have two of these phalanx units doing nothing. We're going to put them in a narrow formation and then get them all the way up across. Meanwhile, our general over here can charge into the flanks of this unit. Go ahead, charge here, charge here. Pull our general behind. Skirmishers over here. You know what? Not on melee mode. We pull you behind. The rest of you can throw your javelins into this unit. Hurry up. Okay, go ahead. Keep hitting this unit.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Right, we can enable shield wall in both of these units again. Get our general all the way around. This unit should be routing fairly soon. Okay, we've dealt with that cavalry unit.
Has used all its ammunition.
And their left flank is all but crumbled. So that is good news. Okay, perfect.
One of our units has
Let's
used all its ammunition.
reorient this unit. Get our general to attack that cavalry unit. He is a Maripos cavalry, so should be able to do quite a significant amount of damage on the charge, and we can even use our spearmen to support over there. Meanwhile, our skirmishers now have to kind of get and support our right flank. Our right flank is, of course, at a greater risk of being demolished if we're not careful. Move our general, go across, hit that unit. You can go over there. These guys are busy chasing. We can bring these guys back into the fight. Our general can charge into this center over here. And yes, we're nearly done over there. Get a couple of these units, they're not doing anything, move them up forward. Get them over here. General, you've done a good job over there. Move you out. For it, perfect. You're gonna keep charging over there. Meanwhile, all of our melee units are done. We can pull them back towards the battle. Get our general to charge this light unit. It shouldn't be able to do much. Meanwhile, these three phalanx units can get out of phalanx formation, form up over here. General Reme Maripos cavalry should be able to dispatch that quite quickly. Meanwhile, these units on the right flank have done quite well. What we are going to do is charge into the backs of these units over here. Just charge into the backs of these units, causing them to rout. Get our general out of there. Meanwhile, all of our swords units can come towards the battle. 2, 3, 4. Go ahead, quickly line up. And we are gonna pretty much sandwich the enemy over here. And get this guy out as well. Put him over here. Fantastic. Okay, it seems like we have the battle slightly under control. We could still, I don't think we can lose it from here, but we could still have some significant casualties. Let's just quickly form up our phalanx units over here. Go ahead, charge here. You charge here. You're charging here. And you're charging here. You're all done, so you can come back here. You can charge into the backs of these units. Well, a general can hit that unit. And the enemy general is dead, which is great news. That should further help us rout out the rest of the enemy army. We can get all of our troops over here. General can come back to the fighting. Three of these units here. Charge into that unit. Meanwhile, the three of you can charge into this unit. There's no point fighting this phalanx head on, so I'm going to move him slightly behind. and actually position him over here to hit this phalanx in the back, which means this phalanx unit should be trying to turn around to face my army. Oh, General. Oh, General got caught. That is not good. Quickly support him. Charge into this unit real quick. 2 of you can charge here. The other 2 can charge into this unit. Excellent. And with that, we have nearly won the battle. We can charge back into the backs of this unit. And this unit is wavering, so might as well get him out of the battle. And with that, we have won the battle quite easy. Well, not that easy. It is a close victory, but you know, it is pretty good considering we had 0 cavalry, and of course we have pushed back one of the major German armies in the region. We have almost entirely wiped out their army, so that is definitely great. Fantastic, so we're still in the end turn, and by the looks of it, and we're gonna have to see what the Germans can throw at us again. And yes, just like that, we have dealt with a major amount of Germans over here. We are gonna enslave them, no mercy, and the good thing is we can replenish in this turn. Meanwhile, it is still their turn, so I wonder what they're up to. Alright, he's moving towards Vesontio, which isn't ideal, but we can sort of kind of trap that second army at Vesontio, because of course if he is at... Oh my god, are you kidding me? Okay, never mind. Easy auto-resolve. Let's go ahead, auto-resolve this one. And we're gonna enslave you as well. You're gonna retreat back. And I don't think there's anything much else you can do, Namneti. Fantastic. A chieftain's son comes of age. We're gonna welcome him to the party. Meanwhile, over here we are done. What we are gonna do is now trap this German army at Vesontio. I'm gonna move all the way up here. The other army, we're gonna move into the settlement of Vesontio, and now we're gonna attack this army. Oops. Okay, we're gonna retreat a little bit. Didn't really consider that. Okay, so he is trapped. He is gonna have to attack me, and I could just move a little bit closer, maybe. No. Okay, I still need to be within the settlement of Vesontio. Go ahead, disband that unit, and we can get the late Belgian Noble Shield Wall. However, unfortunately, we will not be able to recruit them because we do not have enough Pagi in the region. Alright. Meanwhile, our main king can move up towards Din Aden, and we can even attack Temer. Let's go ahead and do that. Untrustworthy. Very bad auto-resolve. And it's going to be a massive battle, but I'm going to play it defensively. And we can go ahead and end the turn and see what the end turn has in store for us. Meanwhile, a quick look at this army. It is in the process of building up. So what we are going to do is give him some more morale debuffs, as well as some campaign range movement. That's going to be helpful. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And I'm gonna get a couple of these units as well. Maybe 4 of them. The reason being is I'm gonna disband them at Vesontio so that I can recruit in Vesontio. That being said and done, let's have a look at all of our provinces. See if we can upgrade anything. We could upgrade the farms, but we are dealing with a public order issue and our food situation is pretty stable, so I don't really need to upgrade my farms just for now. What we can upgrade are these buildings over here. Excellent. With that, we can just quickly end the turn, and most likely we will be attacked by the Caledonia. Or we could even be attacked by the Suebii near Vesontio. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. Alright, the Caledonia are attacking us. And we are going to quick save over here, fight this battle. And in the next turn, we're going to complete our conquest of the Caledonia because our king is just outside their final settlement or their capital. And as such, we will be able to relieve our forces from Britannia itself. Let's quickly hop into the battle. We do have the numerical disadvantage, however, we do have a superior quality troops, so we should be able to win this battle quite easily. And of course, we have our Reme Maripos cavalry as well, so contrary to the previous battle, we will not struggle as much in this battle. Okay, here we are in the battle. Massive hills, actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make use of this massive hill. We're gonna quickly group up our armies. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And we're gonna move our army all the way up north over here. It's a massive hill. Alright. And quickly move our other troops as well behind. You can come all the way here. I'm gonna keep as many of the troops on the top portion of the hill. And you will see why that is, because it will be very easy to rotate on top of the hill as long as you're on top of the hill. Meanwhile, our baggage train can be at the back. Let's go ahead, start the battle, and very quickly move up our entire troops to take that hill. Meanwhile, our archers can quickly also form up. Go ahead, put that guard mode, get these guys all the way over here onto that left flank. Meanwhile, the guys on the right flank can form up over here. As you can see, very easy. They're already in position. Our cavalry over here on the right flank is also in position. Meanwhile, the cavalry on the left flank can quickly get into position. Can even get our skirmishers ahead of our archers, actually. The skirmishers will be able to do a lot of damage since they hold the hill. And finally, we can get our swordsmen in, of course, the reserve. Alright, perfect. And of course, I forgot my general. Move him all the way to the top of the hill. Quickly reposition my army, just a slight bit of adjustments. And we can fast forward now since we are almost entirely, sorted out as far as this battle is concerned. Quickly select all of our phalanx troops and turn on that phalanx mode. Meanwhile, we can get our skirmishers or our archers to hit this unit, as it is a skirmisher cav unit and as such can be quite annoying. Let's actually get our archers, and what we are going to do is charge with our Maripos cavalry in an attempt to kind of turn them away from us, prevent them from firing at us. And now we can stop that charge. Basically, they should have taken a significant amount of casualties from that slight maneuver.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Very quickly going to charge again at that unit and pull back. Meanwhile, the entirety of the Caledonians. Now we can just charge into this unit, perhaps catch it out, and we have caught it out perfectly. Alright, now we can reorient our archers.
One of our units has used all its
Get
ammunition.
our cavalry on the right flank all the way around there. Go ahead, charge downhill into that unit. Get these units all the way here. Really narrow up. And they're gonna get stuck against the edge of the battlefield, which is kind of good for us. Fantastic.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Big bulk of the enemy force is attacking us uphill, so we should have a significant advantage. Dealt with this cavalry unit, so we can move our Maripos cavalry to take care of these missile units. Meanwhile, our other Maripos cavalry can come and attack that missile unit. Over here, we're going to pull back a little bit, real quick. You can come all the way over here. Try to make them fight uphill yet again. Charge downhill, perfect. Maripos cavalry charge into those units. Two of you can charge into the back of this unit. The other two is doing a good job. We can leave them. These units can charge into the backs over here. Maripos cavalry can charge here. Let's just slow down the battle. I mean, I can continue to play it on, very high speed, as it's quite an easy battle, to be honest. But the reason I will slow it down is, of course, for you guys, because move our cavalry around once again for another pass. And we have dealt with that right flank. Fantastic. Get our Maripos cavalry to charge these archer units. And get these guys over here to hit these units in the flank. Meanwhile, our Maripos cavalry on the other flank charge downhill. Significant amount of damage over here. We're going to charge back up into these units. Control group these units so that they hit different units. Our general can inspire. The entire left flank is crumbling. Pretty much surrounded over here. Nothing left to do. I mean, running all the way up, and of course they're going to be very exhausted by the time they get to the top of the hill. And we have a very, very strong position. Quickly get our cavalry around. Control group them as well. Go ahead, charge into the backs of those units. You can charge into the backs of those units. Let's just go ahead and fast forward this battle because there's nothing much else left to do, really. Group 3, push you out. Okay, we can slow down a little bit so that we can micromanage them a bit better. Group 4, pull you out as well.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Meanwhile, you can keep chasing over here. 3, pull you out, pull you out. Hit these units. 2 of you can come here. You can hit this unit and you can hit that. Perfect. Group 4 will pull you behind. Group 4 come up on that hill. The
men are wavering.
We have one unit that is kind of isolated over there, unfortunately. And that is the problem with that unit. It is just so weak. I really don't like that unit. We'll have to replace him with the champions, of course. Get our cavalry to support over here. General, come all the way down.
Our general is under attack.
Group 4, come this way. Group 3, quick look at where you are at. You can charge into this unit.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Group 3, okay, fantastic. Oh, hey, it's me, Ain. Hello, Ain. Welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you with us. And of course, we are gonna quickly dispatch this unit as well. Group 3, charge over there. Group 4, keep charging. And let's go ahead and fast forward once again. Move our general to deal with this retreating unit. Group 4, pull you down. You're gonna charge downhill into this very light spearman. Should be a very decisive charge. They have turned away from us, which is great. While Group 3 can form up, Group 4, you can come all the way over here. Group 3. Fantastic. Get you all the way here. Group 4, we're gonna push you here. Group 3, we're gonna push you here. We're gonna be able to sandwich these troops fairly quickly. Group 4 behind, Group 3 here. Spread them out really far. It's really only those units that are fleeing from the battle. Every other unit is doing quite decently. Meanwhile, get that charge in. Mac. Yeah, absolute destruction, man. The Rome Maripos is such a good cavalry unit. Quickly move up Group 3 over here. Group 4, you can pull back. 3, perfect. Gonna spread you out as much as we can, and then we're gonna control group you. Athena got very, very weak army roster indeed, at least at the start. It's not that weak, but it is quite a good... but you're right, it is quite weak in the start, you know. Alright, let's charge and break the enemy's center. There we go, should be an easy victory now. We can charge here as well.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Get both of these axemen to charge downhill. And a downhill charge is quite devastating to an enemy unit. Meanwhile, our general can hit them in the backs. And of course, their entire front line is now fully retreating. And just like that, we have won the battle quite easily. And we are going to fast forward over here. Try our level best to, of course, kill as many units as we can.
Advance at speed!
We'll hunt them down like crazy, man. Don't worry, Hololive. No spear units, so can we get an army with only sword infantry? You want me to play a little bit of ambush style, maneuverable kind of a playthrough? Yeah, we might do that. Let's actually do that in one of our armies. Quick look at of all of these units. Okay, we still have these units over here. However, the rest of the battlefield seems to be cleared out. Perfect, we can go ahead and end the battle. And the heroic victory killed... Yeah, we lost only 1,000 men and killed over 7,479. So it was a very good battle. And we have wiped out a lot of enemy units. Just like notice the damage of the troops, the individual troops themselves. I mean, very good damage across the board. I'm just gonna mouse over a couple of them. As you can see, this Belgian Axeman got 525 kills. That's crazy. All of our Maripos cavalry averaged about 400 kills. Meanwhile, you know, even those light units, even though they retreated, they got about 300 kills each, 200 to 300 kills each, so that was quite helpful. However, let's go ahead and enslave all of these captives. And yeah, pretty much I think now that what remains at the end turn is, of course, to see if the Suebi attack us. I think they might have already finished their turn at the end of the turn. Panagiotis came back. Who are we fighting? We are currently fighting the Germans. They decided to declare war against us. And we are also fighting the Caledonia. Just finished a massive battle on a massive hill against the Caledonia. And pretty much that tips the balance of the war in our favor. And in the next turn, we should be able to conquer the entirety of the British Isles. And yeah, and I'm also going to try to wipe out that extra German army that's in the region. And with that, I might call it an end to the episode. Intimidate opposition, always refuse that. Meanwhile, military traditions. This army has got some military traditions, so that's great. Again, I keep forgetting. Alright, so our general is the best option. Okay, blue. Stalwart defenders, green. Frontier conquerors, okay. Let's get this. Stalwart defenders. Frontier Conquerors. Okay, perfect. Now we can just simply auto-resolve this battle. Very good auto-resolve. 96%. Down goes Timur. And it is Britannic culture, so we are going to go ahead and loot the settlement. Fantastic. And quickly just, I guess, repair. There's no real need to dismantle it. Go ahead, dismantle all of the other buildings that we don't need. And up here in the north, we can attack Din Aden. Should be a pretty good auto-resolve, I'm guessing. I'm hoping. It's not that great. It's a Pyrrhic victory. However, you know what? We have fought a lot of massive battles, so I'm just going to go ahead and auto-resolve this one. And we've lost a couple of units, but we are going to loot this settlement as well. Alright, perfect. And we have a High King over here that we can perhaps assassinate. 20% chance, that's pretty good. And we failed. Alright, so that means we are looking quite good. We lost a couple of units over here, unfortunately. What we are going to do is we're going to repair this building, dismantle this one as well as this one. And with that, we should be able to culturally convert Caledonia at Hibernia. And there's nothing much the Caledonia can do. We conquer the entirety of the British Isles. We did manage to lose a settlement over here in Korea. However, it's not such a big deal because we do have the ability to wipe out this German stack over here. So let's just go ahead and wipe him out. Decent auto-resolve. Not the best, but pretty decent. And we still are in Octodurum, so I'm going to march my army towards Korea. Meanwhile, this army can go ahead and dispatch the remainder of that German army. Fantastic, enslave him. And alright, perfect. And while over here we are still recruiting up over there. And as you can see, our economy is looking even better because we have just enslaved some new people. And by doing that, we have improved our slave population. As you can see, our slave population 58%, in Britannia 67%, so definitely that has bumped up our economy. So you can see Britannia is now making 24,000 denarii per turn, meanwhile Gallia is making 32,000 denarii per turn. So that is absolutely fantastic. As you can see in the Empire, very nice looking realm we have over here. Very easily defensible against the Romans. The Germans are going to be a big trouble, however. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take out or kick out the Germans from Raetia at Noricum. And perhaps release a couple of Germanic states over here in Magna Germania. Unless, of course, we need those settlements for our victory conditions. So let's have a quick look at our victory conditions. We just need Latium and we need Hercynia. So, yeah, Hercynia is actually this province up here in the north. So I might actually just create a sort of kind of like Holy Roman Empire type border, conquer all the way of Germania, including Hercynia, and basically leave the Suebii with only but Suebii. Pretty much with that, I think it is time to go ahead and end the episode. So anyways, I thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you liked the video, please like the video and don't forget to subscribe if you are interested for more. Peace and love.